ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوثن وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها.
In the heart of Dubai, where the new story begins. In today's episode, we are having Mr. Taimoor Labib, the founding partner of Affirma Capital. Hello, Mr. Taimoor.
Hello.
First of all, we are happy to have you here in our program.
Thank you very much.
Before we begin our main conversation, we would like to know more about you as a person, your academic background, and the things which shape who you are today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. My parents immigrated from Egypt to the U.S. before I was born. So I spent the majority of first 30 years of my life in the U.S. I went to Carnegie Mellon University. I then went to investment banking, Bear Stearns in New York. And then I did private equity, the Carlyle Group in Washington, D.C. And then I moved to the Middle East almost 20 years ago in 2005. So I've been here, I've been in Dubai about almost 20 years. And married with 3 teenage boys. And it's been a fantastic journey. And, I came to Dubai at a good time. Dubai it was a blank canvas. And a lot of us that came around the same time, similar people, similar backgrounds to me, Arab Americans. We've all been here together for a long time. We've grown together as the city has grown with us.
That's great. Speaking about the company itself, let's speak about how you started the company.
So Affirma Capital was a spin-off from Standard Chartered Bank. We were with Standard Chartered and we made an offer to the bank to buy the business globally. So we bought out the private equity business globally from the bank, myself and my partners. We manage about $4 billion. We have offices in seven countries. And we've done about over 100 transactions, Middle East, Africa, and Asia. So we do mid-market private equity investing in emerging markets. And we started we did a management buyout from Standard Chartered, and this was about 7 years ago. So I've been the last 17 years with Standard Chartered Private Equity / Affirma Capital post the buyout.
I'm sure this journey was full of challenges. Let's speak about the people who supported you in this journey.
Yeah, a lot of people have supported me. I was very fortunate. I had a very good childhood and 2 great sisters, 2 great parents, and I've been married now for almost 20 years with a great wife, 3 teenage boys. It's been, alhamdulillah, a very nice journey. I think. Also, I've been very lucky because I also had my career started, in New York during a boom market for finance, and I had some good mentors as well then, and I think I've been a good mentor to my teams over the years as well. So, but I think in finance and private equity, you have to be very humble. You cannot, you're only as good as your last deal or as good as your team, etc. So you need to Always stay very humble and not get too high, not get too low.
So speaking about Affirma Capital, today it's not having only one location, it has more than one location.
Yes.
Let's speak about the services which it's provide.
So we do mid-market private equity investing. So we will take a mid-market business and we will try to scale it and grow it, in the region or outside the region. For example, some of the companies you may know, we are owner of Fine Tissues, the leading tissue consumer business. We also have a vitamins nutraceutical business in Egypt. We had a poultry business in Jordan. We were in Souk.com before we sold that to Amazon. We were in Topaz Energy Marine, UAE headquartered, but that was sold to DP World. In India, we've had a very successful business as well in Southeast Asia and Korea, mostly consumer healthcare, some logistics, some fintech. And typically we're dealing with family businesses. So we're helping a family business go from the first to second generation. We're bringing corporate governance, we're bringing compliance, we're helping them exit as well. Very important as these businesses, grow outside their home markets.
Being a chairman of Africa, from your point of view, what is the main skills every manager should have?
It's a great question. I think number one, you have to have a great team. And how do you develop a great team? You have to be a leader that is the servant leadership model, where you really don't care about who gets the credit, and you are there to help them, expand. When I started my career at Bear Stearns in New York, which was a prominent investment bank that unfortunately no longer exists, but it was midnight one night. I was giving an assignment, and my boss said, take this at midnight. You owe it to me at 8 in the morning. And I'm giving you a lot of rope, and I hope you don't hang yourself with the rope. And I looked at him very scared. I said, why are you telling me about hanging myself with the rope? This has stayed with me for a long time. I don't tell this to my team, but I tell them I'm giving you a lot of rope and show me that you can do the job. So without the mean component of it. But I think this has been sort of very important to me. And giving, at this day and age, when you hire people, you have to give them a challenge, and they have to really want to do the job. So I think that's probably the number one thing is putting together, a very good team. I think you have to also be a team player. You have to be transparent with people. You have to manage your juniors and your seniors. Managing your shareholders, managing your partners also is quite a lot of work. Lastly, there was a great quote that stayed with me for a long time, and it's the skills that got you here will not get you there. So you've built up all this, especially in finance. When you're junior, you have to be very, very technical. Then all of a sudden, 10 years into the job, you have to be able to get deals and deal with people, but no one ever teaches you how to do that. So that ability to pivot from your old skill set to new skill set is very important.
It is important. Today, not only the woman has responsibility for the family, the man has as well, spending time with the children and so on. Being a businessman and a father at the same time, how you can balance?
It is difficult. I've been very fortunate because, I had my kids at a good age where I was already had a successful business. So I've been able to have time I never missed any of their sports matches. I never missed any of their school activities. So I think, it's different depending on where you are and also the journey with your kids. But I think it's very, very important to keep that relationship with them to help them grow. And, because if all you're doing is working and you're not seeing them grow and you're not giving them the guidance, then it becomes, what was the point of all that? So I think keeping that motivation is very important.
Great. Today, people, before they are dealing with the company itself, they are dealing with other people. All right. So how you make sure that the people who are dealing with Affirma Capital, they are happy with the service?
So I think I would break it down a few different things. So when we come into a transaction, we're very transparent with what we need and what is the goal of the company. So typically we will come in, it's a family business, we will inject new capital, and we have to help them grow the business, and we need to exit within, say, 3 to 5 years. So you need to have full transparency and full alignment with the shareholders or the family. So that's one bucket. The second bucket is the management.
Of course.
So, so the management, we need to have a clear understanding of how we're going to exit the business, how we're going to help you grow. And then I think the third part is myself and my team, what we are going to do. What is our job on that journey? Are we going to help you scale your business? Are we going to help you find an M&A transaction? But all three parts, the shareholders, family, management, and the team, we have to be working very much in sync. And there needs to be transparency from the very first go. I've had many transactions which I've walked away from, even though the company looks fantastic, but it was clear we were not going to get that transparency and that clear structure from all people from day one. And that's just too much of a headache if you cannot get that agreement early on.
Which is great. I'm sure as all sector, there's many challenges which you face as a company. Speaking about the main challenges and today how Affirma is keeping up with them.
So if you look at globally, private equity had an amazing 20-year bull market where many things worked. The last few years, private equity has had a difficult time as the Feds have raised their rates and the price of capital has gone up. So that has created an issue globally with private equity. I think now going forward, private equity firms really have to stick to what they're really good at. And what we're very good at is mid-market investing, taking a company from the first to second generation, finding them exits. I've been on 15 boards throughout Middle East and Africa. And that pattern recognition of very quickly helping a company expand or helping a company with their new software programs or hiring a new CEO, hiring a new CFO, is very, very important. So I think that part of it is going to be the key going forward in private equity, is really sticking to really what you're good at and your core capabilities.
Exactly. Speaking about the vision itself, how you see the company next 10 years from now?
I think we'll continue to do what we're doing. I think the mid-market space is a very nice space to be in. These are typically companies with sort of $5 to $50 million of profit, give or take. So in MENA, it's a larger cap company, but traditionally we call these mid-cap companies. But I like playing in that space a lot because it's not a startup, it's not an early stage company, but it's not an IPO'd company yet either. So right in that middle is where, so I think we'll continue to play in that space. And I think we will continue to work in Middle East, Africa, and Asia. What's very nice about our business is if we have a new company that is in Middle East, we can help them expand into Korea, we can help them expand into India. And I think that is also one of our edges. So I think we will continue to do this similar business, maybe some new funds here and there, but it'll be very similar to the core business we've done for the last 20 years.
In our experiences which you have today, what is your advice for the younger generation? As you have mentioned earlier, you have 3 teenage sons.
Yeah.
So, for example, what's your advice for them to grow and, if they want to enter the same business?
So I think for them, it's very much, I'm going to sound a little bit old school, but you really need to, in the beginning of your career, put your job first. You need to work very hard. You need to become someone who's very important to his or her boss, and try to figure out in advance what that person needs from you. Later on, as you get more senior, you can have a better work-life balance, etc. But I think initially, if you want to get into finance, you have to be willing to put in the time and the effort, and you have to become very, very technical in corporate finance, which is a great start. And I still think even with AI, even with all of this, it's still a great way to start one's career.
Mr. Taimoor, today from our channel, we would like to give you this chance to thank the UAE government and the leadership.
Thank you for that. And, again, I've been here almost 20 years. It's been a pleasure to be in this country. When I first came here, DIFC was in its infancy. There was no Dubai Mall. Downtown Dubai was a stretch of desert. And as I've grown my career together with the city. I've been very thankful to be here. My wife and I have chosen to raise our family here. And I think, you know, anyone who's thinking about starting a business, I think the nice thing about the UAE is the rules of engagement are set up, and it's very clear what someone can do here. And I think they've given a lot of us a chance to grow and thrive here. And for that, you know, we all thank you. It's been a tremendous 20 years for me.
We thanks as well, Mr. Taimoor, for being here and sharing this wonderful story.
Thank you for your time.
We thanks our audience as well, and stay tuned for the next success story.